Hey, cuz. How's it going, cuz? What's been happening, cuz? Who's your cuz? Don't cuz at me. Make this cuz thing matter. Know who you are, cuz it's important. All right, this is a spreadsheet that I developed for this presentation. Um, it has a lot of information on there that could be kind of confusing, and I'm going to try and walk through it to hopefully make it clearer. But we're going to start with one set of parents right here. Their name is Sid and Olvie, and we're calling them the parents. And then we're going to go through and look at relationship of people that were born to them in different generations and what those relationships are going to be and going to be called. So we're going to do it starting here. Of course, the parents are Sid and Olvie. Okay. Now we're going to look at their children who were born. And of course, they are their children. Therefore, they're brothers and sisters. But the names of the children that I'm listing here is Nona, a woman, Marguerite, who was my mother, and Hazel. And the next level down, we're going to take a look at, and this is where we get into the cousin issue. Is in the next level down from them, their children's children. Okay, and the names of some of the children that were born to these three ladies are: to Nona was born Cherie, to Hazel was born Jim, and to Marguerite was born somebody who calls himself Vegan. Now, the thing common with these three people, with Cherie and Vegan and Jim, is that Sid and Olvie are their grandparents. And that is the key that makes this relationship between these three and anyone else who shares Sid and Olvie as grandparents as first cousins. Okay, so when we deal with the next level or next generation of people from Sid and Olvie, we're going to be dealing with their children's children's children, I believe. Yes, and that means the children that are born to Cherie, Vegan, and to Jim, whose relationship, of course, is first cousins. And we'll look at the relationship there. But these are the children that were born to these first cousins. And to Cherie was born Shasta and Brandon. To Vegan was born Jameson and John. And to Jim was born Douglas. And now, at this point, I want to share that the relationships that we're going to talk about for this level are the relationships to me, relationships to Vegan. Okay, so since Cherie and Jim are my first cousins, their children are going to be my first cousins once removed. Now, of course, Jameson and John are my children, but my cousins' children, Shasta and Brandon, are my first cousins once removed, and I am their first cousin once removed. Same thing is true with Jim's son, Douglas. I'm sorry, that Douglas is my first cousin once removed, and I am his. So again, the next generation, the next level we're going to look at are first cousins once removed children. And that is Sid and Olvie's children's 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 children. And this helps a lot with that relationship between uh, understanding the relationship between these folks is who they are to Sid and Olvie. So the children that were born of this level of cousins, to Shasta was born Kai. Brandon does not have children. To Jameson was born Regan, his daughter. To John was born Ian, his son. And to Douglas was born a daughter, and I don't recall her name. But again, these relationships here at this level that I'm talking about right now are in relationship to me, to my level, as first cousin to these guys. And my relationship with this level of kid is that they are my first cousins twice removed. So from Cherie, who is my first cousin, Shasta and Brandon are my first cousins once removed. Kai is my first cousin twice removed, and I am his. Of course, in my relationship here, Jameson and John are my son, Regan and Ian are my grandchildren. In Jim, my cousin Jim's case, Douglas is my first cousin once removed, and his daughter is my first cousin twice removed. So if you're trying to plug this in for yourself to figure out the relationship, just know who your first cousins are, and then realize that each generation after that are going to first be listed as that relationship you have with your cousins as first cousins, and then once removed, twice removed, thrice removed, however far you want to go with it. So now the next level that I want to talk with is about this level of our children and their relationship to each other. Now, in relation to Sid and Olvie, this level, Shasta, Brandon, Jameson, John, and Douglas, they are great grandparents. And because of that, because they share great grandparents, they to each other are second cousins. Okay? So in dealing again with this level, then these guys are second cousins. So any emanation from them, any further generations from them in relation to each one of them is going to be Kai, Regan, Ian, and the daughter are all going to be second cousins once removed. And the children of these children would be, of course, second cousins twice removed. So it depends on which level you're dealing with. Again, for Cherie, myself, and Jim, Sid and Olvie were grandparents. For Shasta, Brandon, Jameson, John, and Douglas, Sid and Olvie were great-grandparents. Depending upon what your relationship is to the grandparents that you share is the relationship that determines whether you are first cousins, that's if they're your grandparents, or if you are second cousins, that's if they are your great-grandparents.
Far away from your troubles and worries, you belong somewhere you feel free. You belong somewhere you